Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week. We're two old guys, and now introducing for the first time another old guy. Talk about old games.
And birds. We also have birds on this episode. Because it's so fucking super hot in Tadpog High Rise that we've opened the window.
Yep, and there's no screen in it, so we might get a bird.
So what do we do if a bird flies in?
We just keep going.
Turn on the mic and see
if the bird sits down Bernie Sanders style, just in front of the mic.
There you go. Then you hit L1 and you shoot that little bitch and take feathers with it.
So that voice, that is for the first time on the show, like not leaving a 10-minute voicemail about Madden, but actually being on the show.
I forgot about that.
Time Lord Josh Edwards. So welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I got chills when you said hello, Internet.
I don't understand. It was so weird when I was talking to you about coming on the show. It was like, oh man, I feel awful that we've never asked Josh Edwards to be on the show because Josh, I think you've listened to us for a very long time.
Yeah,
I think I'm one of the Tadpog elders in that sense. I've listened to all of the shows and most of them twice. I'm not in the Phil Hawkins territory, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins territory, but I'm getting close.
His Tadpog MMR is through the fucking roof.
It is. It's like 3,000. It's ridiculous. But no, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. If I had a game I was really adamant about, I would have pestered you. I just like listening. You guys are the best.
That's how Ryan feels. Like, he's here. He could be on whenever, but he's like, nah, I just like having to listen in the car. So, but So doing this game was your idea, Josh? So what?
I think Dave and I might have come up with it at the same time. I was just talking about it because I'd kind of had a renaissance with this game. I played it a lot when it first came out, and then recently, I mean, I've moved around a lot, so I took breaks, but recently played it from the beginning. Finally beat it, actually, and then decided to go through and play it again from the beginning, and I was telling Dave about it, and so...
I was a super opportunist. And I was like, oh, shit, you just played this? Well, Tyler's been talking about let's do Red Dead Redemption for a while, and I don't want to replay it. So come on the show. Come on the show, Josh. Come on the show. It's all fresh in your mind? Great.
Yeah. So it was clearly Dave's idea. It was clear.
So we're doing BioShock again. That's what I didn't tell either of you fuckers.
All right, perfect. It's good.
Awesome.
No, yeah, I've been wanting to do Red Dead for a while, just because that's usually a game when we're like, fuck, what do we need to do? I'm not looking over my shelf, and it's this red and white case, so it draws my eye.
Yeah,
Red Dead?
Yeah.
And I always feel bad because it's like, I enjoyed this game so much when I played it that I want to do it justice. So it's like Final Fantasy Tactics has been mentioned a lot of times too when we're in a pinch.
Yep.
And I feel the same way about it, where it's like,
and Dragon Age Origins.
I want to do that game justice. I want to replay that game or get somebody who is super familiar and played it recently.
Or outsource this to somebody.
Tyler, honestly, I think you'd be fine to do. Like, you could sit there by yourself and do a Final Fantasy Tactics episode.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I just didn't want to look like an idiot, but I mean, that's been a couple years now, so now everybody knows that I don't really know anything about video games, so it wouldn't be a problem.
The facade has worn thin. They know you're just here for the sweet voice and the laugh.
That's right, man. We've been doing this for a while, and Polygon still hasn't sent me an email saying, "Hey, dog, you want to write reviews?" So I'm pretty sure everyone knows I don't know what I'm doing.
We get one from Cigar Aficionado, but we turned it down.
Cat Fancy.
Cat Fancy,
yes.
That's legitimate. We might do that.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
I think you guys would do well.
Penthouse? Is that still around? Mm-hmm. Or is that just a website now?
Is there a Penthouse specifically for fingering girls? Because we can do that one.
What would that magazine be called?
Finger Hut.
Sponsored by Smuckers.
Headline article: "A deep look into the church basement."
Or no, the little Dutch boy. It's all about sticking your fingers in dikes. It's fine.
Oh wow, you put another layer on it.
Yeah. Huh?
This is a fetish on a fetish.
My goodness.
Well, before we get into everything else, I'm your bearded host, Tyler. And I had a weird dream the other night. And I know everybody loves being told about other people's dreams, so
Yeah,
that's what I'm here to do.
Tyler, please psychoanalyze yourself in front of all of us. That would be
This
great.
is one of those dreams, like normally if I have a dream, I will then like get online and do like the dream encyclopedia and look at what elements in dreams mean what.
Cross-reference it with your dream journal.
Yep. I'm not sure how this one, because I immediately woke up and text somebody about it. So I have it all, like, it's all fresh. I know what happened. But in my dream, it was, I suppose you could say it was the current modern world, but Pokemon was real. Like,
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you were in the Pokemon world?
Wait, Pokemon.
it was
Wait.
Pocket monsters?
What now?
Pokemon aren't real?
only in Japan, not in America.
But no, I saw on Google Maps. I saw them. I saw them in there.
But like everyone just had like the Pokemon. Everybody was trainers and everything. Like, it was just like that's just Earth, modern day Earth, but Pokemon were real. And I was going to a cabin in the woods. I don't think it was McElwain's cabin. I'm not sure.
When you looked that up, Cabin in the Woods online, what did you find?
Well, it's just a great place to go. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Just hang out. Nothing
Yeah.
bad ever happens here. Okay.
But I remember I was going out and I was like setting up a boat or something like that when I don't remember anything about the trainer, but somebody just rolled up on me and challenged me to a Pokemon fight. So I was like, okay, sure. So we go out like into a clearing in the woods, and I don't remember what Pokemon I chose. I don't remember the trainer. I don't remember my Pokemon. All I remember is the other Pokemon, the other trainer, throwing out his Pokeball and saying, "I choose you, Broken Claus."
Okay.
Okay.
Like a legal thing?
No. Broken Claus turned out to be Santa Claus, but he was
Oh my
riddled
God.
with arrows.
Oh my God.
So specifically it was the
Was it Tim Allen?
It was Tim Allen. No, it was the Santa Claus from what is that? The show on Cartoon Network where the
Futurama?
figurines, the action figures, stop motion.
Chicken robot?
Oh,
Robot chicken.
Robot chicken.
It was the
God.
robot chicken Santa Claus, but he was just like he was
Chicken robot.
covered with
We get it. It's fine.
like crossbow fletching, like where he had been shot, and he was Broken Claus. And we were fighting, and
Who did you choose?
see, I don't remember who
Okay,
I chose.
okay.
I just remember like I was winning, and then Broken Claus. The trainer should do a move that was like a god tier move, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" So I remember like I grabbed, somebody was there, and I grabbed and I was running toward the cabin, and I just barely got out of the range of this enormous like Pokemon god tier Ultima move.
What? Like, was he throwing presents or?
No, that was just like it
Pulling
was.
the arrows out and tossing them at you?
It was something akin to Final Fantasy VII's Ultima.
Okay, so just Christmas energy.
Yeah,
he was
Christmas
just
energy.
blasting you with,
Yeah.
with the spirit of Christmas.
That's
and
right.
like, I
all
just-
of those people who love Christmas are now wrapped.
Just joy and giving.
But like I rolled on like the porch of the cabin and just barely out of the range, and then like I jump
move.
in the cabin and he does some other sort of follow up move. But there are a bunch of people in the cabin. One of them I remember was Andrew WK. Don't know why he was there. I don't know any of his music. He was just there. And something like there are all these lights going on outside. I can see through the cabin windows. And Andrew WK like he just says like uh-oh. And he walks over and opens the front door, and outside the front door, it now looks like the intro to Doctor Who when the TARDIS is tumbling through space. And he's like, shit, we're lost. It's time and space. So like, oh shit, what are we gonna do?
I love how he explained it to you.
It's like, oh man, look at that front door. Clearly, we are lost in time and space thanks to Broken Claus and its ultimate moves.
And then the rest of the dream was just me and him just talking about Doctor Who.
Well, we figured out a way to like land somewhere, like in, I guess, a parallel time to our own. I could tell it was the same Earth, but things were a little different. Like there were two things that were different. I could tell, like, well, it's different, but it's acceptable. We can just live here. One, Parks and Rec never went off the air, and it was on season 10.
How was it? How was season 10? Of Parks and
Leslie
Rec?
was like a fashion designer. She'd gotten into fashion.
It seems like it would have had to gone that direction. Yeah.
And then two, my great grandmother was still alive, and she was like 105. So I was like, okay, we can roll with this world.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good world.
Yeah.
Oh, also everyone happened to be bugs in human skin.
Because I woke up and it reminded me of the episode of The Simpsons where Homer is just like going from dimension to dimension, trying to find what's okay.
That's right. And he finally settles at the end, right? What happens? They have like...
They're lizard people, like eating with their, darting their tongues. He's like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Was that a Treehouse of Horror?
Yeah.
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 Man, those used to be so good.
Yeah, they were.
And there was no other show that did anything like that. Like, just decided to jump out of its own universe for this one series, one episode. It was so fun.
They were some of my favorite episodes.
Was that it? Was that the end of your dream?
Yeah, that was it. So if anybody knows like what Santa Claus with arrows means in a dream, and Andrew WK and being lost in time and space.
That all sounds positive. I'm sure it's good.
You'll end up in a good place.
Also,
yeah.
Broken Claus, man.
You know what I think?
Broken Claus.
You know what I think it was?
What?
I think when you were lost in time and space, Jesus sent you to the proper dimension
Where I was supposed to be from.
Yes. Because you know how he and Santa Claus don't really mix all the time.
Well,
It's the Bradley default. You just find the world that like, oh, okay, we'll live here now.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to play this game 5 more times. We give up.
Yeah. No, this world. No, please no. This world was good.
What's up, Internet? I am Dave. I am your bespectacled host, and I realized, just 2 seconds after Tyler started his intro story, that I was supposed to pick up a letter from Nicole.
Oh.
Someone sent Nicole a letter. Someone just sent a letter to Nicole's box.
Not for us, just like to Nicole.
Yeah, maybe she was bragging when she texted me. She was like, I got a letter.
It's not a bill or a flyer or anything.
You want to pick it up? Too bad it's mine. So when we're done recording, I need to text Nicole and be like, I'm sorry, I forgot. So I kind of had to scramble. I'm scrambling here. I'm hunting for an intro story because even though I don't have the letter, I was relying on it.
Okay.
So I don't know.
How about let's just make up. What do we think it would say?
It'd probably say,
letter?
Dear TADPOG, I hope you guys get Josh Edwards on the show sometime.
Ah, right, of course. Also, by the way, full disclosure, I sent the letter.
Actually, EA sent the letter, and they were like, "Man, there is a dude who like loves talking about some Madden. Can you please get him on our show?"
Man, I'm waiting on that sweet EA money. It hasn't come in yet. They said, I just talk.
So I'm scrambling here, and the only thing that can come to mind is, for a while I was giving bathroom work updates. The bathroom at work.
Bathroom massages. Like I would just go to people at the urinal and just rub their shoulders so they'd give me money.
In the airport, the movie theater, stadium, sporting events, that kind of thing.
You just flash some fingers under the stall. Is that how it works?
No, it's actually really nice.
2 is a blowjob, 3 is just a nice massage.
It's nice because you.
Oh, so that's what happened. I screwed that up last time.
I did not have to suck that many dicks at the airport.
No, you wait until someone's in midstream at the urinal and you just kind of walk up behind them and caress their thigh. And then you're like, give me $5 and I'll stop.
That would work. I would give you all the money in my pocket. And you'd probably
keep going.
You might take it out yourself, wouldn't you? You'd just reach in and...
Yeah, sometimes I do. Most of the time it works. Sometimes I got to suck a dick. But I do clear about $200 a day.
Shh, flower friend. Shh. Just let it happen.
And then when the cop comes in to the bathroom, I'm like, it's not prostitution. He's not paying me for this.
These services are pro bono.
This is just the risk I run, officer, when I try to pull bathroom massage shenanigans.
Pro bono.
STD/assault roulette, I call it. It's very fun.
We're a non-profit massage institution.
It's public record what I do with the funds. It's a non-profit.
It's true, officer. I'm not paying them. They're just hobbyists. They just like this. This is fun for them.
I don't claim this on my taxes, so it's truly a hobby.
That's right. It's more of a gambling loss.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So I do have a work bathroom update. The new bathrooms are in. They're marvelous. Thank you for you gave me advice on bathroom etiquette, when to lock the door, when not to lock the door. Mm-hmm. So glad that you did that. Super, super glad that I got the advice. Because now every time I go in, I just lock the door. I just lock the door. I do not care if it doesn't matter if I'm peeing or if I'm making plop plops. I just lock the door. And the other day, I thought of the show, and I was like, thank God we do TADPOG, because otherwise, someone would have walked in and just seen my wiener, because I locked the door, I was at the urinal, and then I hear it. I'm like, oh, man. Whew, it sounds like they really got to go. Well, too bad. I'm in here.
Yep.
And now I have to take my time so they know it's not me who is in here. So now it's like,
Well, if you were just peeing, there's no shame, man. They're not going to smell anything.
No, but still, they'd be like, you're the motherfucker who caused me to hold my bladder.
Yep. Leads to blood
I've got
clot.
a UTI now. Thanks
A lot,
thanks.
Dave.
Yeah, damn it.
So
I'm
that's
a door
good.
locker. I'm definitely a door locker.
Yeah, it was nice getting
Just
confirmation.
Yeah.
So
You just commit to it, and if they know you as a door locker, that's too bad. They see me get up, walk to the bathroom, you should know what's going to happen.
So I don't know if this was a cost-saving maneuver for electricity, or if it was just for a productivity enhancer. But at work now, the bathrooms, they're lovely. They're lovely, except that the lights are on a timer.
Oh.
So it really sucks when you got to take you got a lot of plops that you got to deliver. It's really tough. I can't tell you how many times that I've shit by cell phone light.
Well, I do that and then just wave my arms in the air until the lights come back on.
The problem with it is that the sensor is like at the breach of the door. So it's like you cannot
cannot.
The first time it happened, I'm like doing sitting jumping jacks on the toilet. And
Which
nothing.
helped move the process along, but you felt silly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it bruised my ass a little bit.
True.
But
Cushion seat.
man. So, yeah, I got to deal with that now, but it's a small price to pay. So every time I go to the bathroom now, I have to make sure that I bring my phone. And so I'll turn the flashlight on and I'll just set it on top of the toilet paper dispenser and just finish my thing, which makes me really wonder, like, when people come to the door and try to open it and it's locked and they see under the door just darkness. I'm pretty sure David's masturbating in there.
Yep. Oh, yep.
Well, no matter what, no matter how badly I have to go, if I get like to the toilet, pants are down, forgot my phone, pulling the pants back up, walking back in the room, grab my phone, go back. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I get it. I do. It's like, it's torture being on the toilet without your phone. It really is. Because it's like,
Yeah.
I'm past the point where I can read shampoo bottles and be okay.
yeah.
Exactly right.
I don't have any Foxtrot books now.
Yeah, well, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
I remember
My piddles.
Man, I remember when I knew what was in shampoo. I have no idea anymore.
Chemicals.
Yeah,
Probably
parabens,
flowers and stuff.
Something that ends with INE or ONE or
Echinacea and some kind of dihydrazine, whatever. Doesn't matter.
something with X's in it. That's all.
Don't worry, I'll have it in the show notes at tadpog.com. If you want to know what's in shampoo, check it out.
And don't want to go read yours while on the toilet? Here you go.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right. Have your cell phone? Would like to read the back of a shampoo bottle instead? Check out the show notes.
Yeah. Do you have an intro story or anything, Josh? Anything prepared?
I have a couple that I could mention. Not sure. I don't know if I want to do the one that makes me look like an innocent child or the one that doesn't.
Let's go with the one that doesn't.
Oh, okay. All right. So it
Well-
looks like if we voted, I would lose.
It might depend. It might depend on if you're gonna have your wife listen to this, right?
No, actually, she's got a book and she's gone to read somewhere. She sent me a text. She's like, I'll wait till you're done. I know you have to be lewd.
Yeah. So you don't think she's gonna track the episode down and listen to the things that you said?
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Okay.
Except that she won't. She won't actually. I think she'd like me to think that she would.
Okay.
But
So you're on your best behavior?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna be me. And this,
Perfect.
okay, I'll tell this story because she's never heard it, and if she does listen,
Okay.
I think she'll find this. Well, I don't know what she'll think of it.
She'll be really attracted to you. I'm assuming.
Okay, so I'm your semi-bearded and glasses wearing, bespectacled. Sorry, I screwed that up. You want to cut that? No.
No.
No, we don't do that here.
We're going to turn that section up.
I have
So.
glasses and some of a beard because I shaved wrong the other day. And I'm Time Lord Josh Edwards. Yeah.
You're rocking the goatee now.
I am by accident, and it'll only last about 4 or 5 days, and then hopefully nobody will see that.
You got to go Ned Flanders, man. You got it.
I know. I'm afraid I could do a Ned Flanders. I think I've got one right now if I trimmed it right.
You could. I think you should do it and send us a photograph, and we'll put it in the show notes.
Hi diddly ho, neighborino. Well, when I was growing up, so I'm thinking this is about 6th or 7th grade. This was pre-internet, right? This is like late 80s, and I had seen a couple of Playboy magazines. I knew that when I looked at a woman without her clothes on, I felt weird. And I
Can you describe that feeling, Josh, for us, please?
Yeah, it's just kind of tingly, and like I don't know what's happening, and I don't want to talk about my feelings, and I gotta, yeah. And anyway, yeah.
Should I have experienced that by now?
Oh. I don't want to spoil anything for you, Dave, but if you were to see a naked female,
Yeah.
sometimes boys.
God, I hope one day.
But yeah, so I'm like 12 or 13, and I had seen a couple, and I knew a little bit about how I worked.
I mean, you can make yourself come up all proper right now. It's like you're invested.
Make yourself come all proper.
Come up proper.
I like that.
That's right. And I really wanted to see a naked female, and I was like, I have no idea how to do this. I can't go into a store and buy a porn magazine. I'm way too young, and I would not have been brave enough to try that. But we had just moved into this house, and it occurred to me that, like, okay, somebody lived here before. We've only been here about a year. Maybe there's something around here. And I just had it in my head, like, there's got to be a picture of a naked woman around here somewhere. There's got to be, because
I remember that thirst.
and I was like, I can't get into the attic, so it doesn't even matter if it's there. I was like, but the garage is weird. There's all kinds of stuff in the garage, and I don't know what some of it is. There's maybe some places. If I was going to hide some shit, I'd put it in the garage. All right. So I just walked myself out there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where would I hide something if I wanted to hide something in the garage? And I looked up near the ceiling. I was like, there's some spots up there. So I crawl up on the workbench, and I'm feeling around up there, and I'll be damned if there's not this magazine. And I pull it down, and it's all dusty, and it's this 1970s black and white porno mag. And I was like, fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an amazing find.
Yeah.
Universe. I knew somebody wanted to see a naked female and had been here before. And
You're like a Jedi.
That's like little fears using innocent magic to like provide for yourself.
That's right. I was like, I knew there had to be something here. And so I found it for like 3 years. That was my go-to. I read every single article, multiple times. I looked at every single picture. I worked it to every single picture. There was one picture.
Even the ads.
I remember, yeah, right.
I do want to know one weird trick.
That's right. I remember I showed it to all my friends knew I had this thing, and it was like this strange, because I discovered later that they had moved into the Technicolor era. They had magazines with colored pictures, And
I thought you were gonna get
that's not very,
racist.
that's not very politically correct, Josh.
that was that's not the appropriate. Please. No, so it was weird, but there was this one woman I remember, and something just didn't look right. Like she was like sitting there spread eagle, and I was like, God, that's kind of scary. I'll be honest, I'm a little scared about that.
What was scary about it?
I don't know. It just looked like I don't know, like you.
Like a bat, just
like, no.
like a giant bat was just like biting her on her no bits.
First of all, yeah, it was not the shaved era. I don't know what era we're in now, but it's
we're moving back. We're
like
moving
middle
back.
ground now. Yeah.
It's wild bush, thorny, tentacled. This thing looked like the Sarlacc. It was like
oh boy,
I'm stuck inside each other.
Oh boy,
and it
High school.
I just could not. I was like, no. I don't think I like that. I do remember, and I don't know why, but there's this one sentence in one of the stories that I have never been able to forget. You want me to say it? You want me to tell you what it is? I can tell you.
Very much so.
Please.
Okay. And so the guy is about to climax, right? He's about to come in and it says in the story, it's like, and he spewed the milky substance into her slippery channel.
Josh, hey Josh.
That's the most disgusting sentence.
Josh. Here's what I love the most about the story: that sentence is burned into your memory. You delivered that just like you think about it, like every week it like creeps into your mind. It's like, hey Josh, remember me?
Let me tell you what font it's in. God, I can see it, and I remember just being like, oh my God.
Please, Reb, if you're listening to this, please say it to Josh next time you have sex. Please tell him where to put it in your slippery trench. Please. If you don't, I will. So
Slippery channel. That's what I learned.
slippery channel.
Slippery channel. The 3 clams are a slippery channel.
God, we have to find this. We have to find this magazine on eBay and get it for Josh.
Honestly, I've never looked for it. I bet I could find it. I know what it looks like.
I fucking knew.
I've got a search string. I've got a sentence I could look for.
Yeah. Slippery Channel mag.
Well, since you're talking about porn, I have one last small segue.
Awesome.
Because I'll put it in my notes. That Hobson Heroes, Drew and Bailey did their Zelda episode.
It's a great episode. I think it's their best episode yet.
And we asked because I'm listening to it on my way to Tennessee, and they get through all of my questions and all of your questions, Dave. And toward the end of the show, I'm like, are they not going to answer the last question?
I know. I was waiting for it.
I got? So they did. They're like the closing moments of the show, because I'd asked them, what's your favorite porn genre?
Oh.
And Dave, I told you before, like there's an episode where Pat, I don't remember which episode they've done in the past, where Drew makes comments about like water sports, as in bisplay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
like R. Kelly.
Yes.
Oh.
And a lot of like the freakier stuff, and Bailey appears to be freaked out, and then Drew is very like, no, whatever. It's whatever. People do their thing. It's whatever. So when they get to this question, applause to Bailey, who's just like, yeah, girl on girl. Yeah, that's my thing. It's my jam. Drew, what's yours? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sex? I don't know. It's like that solidified, that previous comment, and then this solidified for me. Drew likes like some like 8mm style shit, and he does not want to say so.
Yeah, that's right.
So your reluctance to answer it, Drew? I know. I got your number, boy.
Gotcha.
So what are you into? I don't know, man. Like dressing up like a teddy bear and wrapping a rope around my neck, tying to a trailer truck, and then opening the door and like calling all the kids to come out and look. Well, don't judge me.
I like it where a guy ties, floss and string around all of his teeth and then to a bunch of dogs, and then he kicks the dogs, and they all run off and pull out all of his teeth, and then he has to give a gummy bloody blowjob to some stranger on the street. That's what I'm into. That's my shit.
They call those gummy worms.
Oh, man.
So that's my little anecdote, my little reply there.
I get it.
Drew is Seabass from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh man, Dumb and Dumber. That is a man. I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber since middle school.
No one has.
They erased it from.
I've heard Dumb and Dumber 2 is pretty bad.
Yeah, I imagine it is. I've never seen it. I've heard it's so bad.
Yeah.
Is that Dumber and Dumber and Dumber? Is that it?
No, Dumb. Yeah. No, Dumb and because there was Dumb and Dumber the prequel with different actors, then Dumb and Dumber 2, but 2 is T-O.
Okay.
I forgot the prequel. Oh God.
Yeah.
So the one that's not a prequel is awful.
Yep.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But the prequel is clearly amazing.
Is that the one that had Cillian Murphy and Ewan McGregor in it? I'd watch that. Yeah.
And a very young Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. They resurrected Walter Matthau.
He was the parrot without a head. It was great. Dave, do you hear that?
I do hear that. That's the sound of a bunch of. Oh,
I don't know. Sex. I don't know.
is that a porn denier that I hear?
It's the Drew hedging train.
I mean, I hear barking dogs in the distance and the distinct rattling of 1,000 teeth. That's how many teeth humans have, right?
I'm not into that. No, I'm not. Why do you like girl on girl? Gross.
Oh, so here's another thing I want to add to that, because I'm glad you brought that up, because when in the past, you and I, Tyler, we have mentioned that girl on girl doesn't really do it for us.
Right.
No.
And I do. It's weird because I've thought about that since I made that statement on the show, and I will say that the act of a woman and a woman fucking each other doesn't really do it for me. But when they kiss,
yes, kissing and second base.
Yes,
I'm all for that. Yeah,
like that'll do it.
Man,
yep, that'll do it.
All right, that's I think. Well, you've really nailed something there, Dave. Well,
yeah,
because it used to be like I did like that. Like I could watch the whole thing.
Oh God, yes. That used to be a preference. Like that was
totally.
I want to see girls blasting each other.
Yeah.
See, but I do like girl on girl if it's a strap-on scene.
Yeah.
And
because it's hilarious.
One of the ladies is a MILF and the other is like a young student or something like that.
She's being trained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I like it when it gets dark too, man.
Usually the MILF has to be like perhaps a business suit.
Yeah.
A smart Hillary Clinton pantsuit.
Yes.
There you go.
The other girl's in a collar. I don't know.
She's the pantsuit pegger. That's what she does.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll speak when you're spoken to kind of deal. Yeah, it's fun.
That's right.
Of course I hear that. which
train?
Naturally, ushers in a segment we like to call the rest of this episode's about porn. So enjoy yourself. A segment that we like to call Dave reads some Wikipedia. Here's the good news, guys. The Wikipedia entry for Red Dead Redemption is so long that I can just read this and then we can just talk about whatever we want.
Tropical Capricorn. That's it. We're out. Wrap it up.
Okay, guys. Red Dead Redemption is an open-world Western action-adventure video game developed by Rockstar San Diego and published by Rockstar Games. It was released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 consoles in May of 2010. It is the second title in the Red Dead franchise after 2004's Red Dead Revolver. The game, which is set in the decline of the American frontier in the year of 1911, follows John Marston, a former outlaw whose wife and son are taken hostage by the government in ransom for his services as a hired gun. Having no other choice, Marston sets out to bring the three members of his former gang to justice. The game is played from a third-person perspective in an open-world environment, which allows the player to interact with the game world at their leisure. The player can travel the virtual world, which is a fictionalized version of the Western United States and Mexico, primarily on horseback and on foot. Gunfights emphasize a gunslinger gameplay mechanic called Deadeye that allows players to mark multiple shooting targets on enemies in slow motion. The game makes use of a morality system by which the player's actions in the game affect their characters' levels of honor and fame and how other characters respond to the player. There is an online multiplayer mode, which is included in the game, allowing up to 16 players to engage in both co-op and competitive gameplay and a recreation of the single-player setting. Upon its release, Red Dead Redemption was acclaimed by many reviewers, with praise directed at the game's visuals, dynamically generated music, voice acting, gameplay, and story. Widely acclaimed by various video game publications, the game has shipped over 14 million copies. It won year-end accolades, including Game of the Year awards from several gaming publications. It is widely considered one of the greatest video games of all time. After the game's release, several downloadable content additions were released. Red Dead Redemption: Undead Nightmare, later released as a standalone game, which added a new single-player experience in which Marston searches for a cure for an infectious zombie plague that has swept across the Old West. A Game of the Year edition, including all additional content, was released in October 2011. That's Red Dead Redemption, y'all. Tropical Capricorn. Let's talk about Girl on Girl.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Josh, I haven't played this game since it came out in 2010. So, what is this game about again?
What is? What do?
Yeah, I read some things here where I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that vaguely. The thing that
John Marston.
They left out Canada when they're talking about like the swath where it takes place. Because I remember when I first played this game, I was like, okay, well, that's clearly Mexico. And then this is clearly the West, American West. And then there's mountains and snow and bears.
Snow.
Is this Canada?
Right.
Like, is this the smallest continent in the world?
It's basically South Park.
It's baby continent, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, that's exactly right. I am kind of in the same boat as you, Dave, in that I played it a long time ago. But then I just recently got back into it. And it was really fun because you kind of knew how everything was going to turn out. But I had not, well, I say that I hadn't actually beat it. I was right at the end when we left San Diego, and I hadn't played it in like 2 years. And I'd had like a 2-year break before that. So I finally beat the game. And then when I got to the ending, I was like, God, I can't even remember how I got here. But I love this game. I could remember pieces. So I thought, all right, I want 100% completion on this game. And I don't usually do that. I haven't done that in a long time.
That is a steep endeavor on this game.
It is. And as soon as I looked at like what that would take, I was like, I don't know if I can do that.
You can do it.
But I want to try. I do. I really want to try. So that's what I went back to start over and do. And it just got me into it again. And it occurred to me, I was like, what's the last game that you've played that you could get into now that's 6 years old? And you could just be like, man, this game is still awesome. I still like this game. And I can't think of anything.
The greats, man, like BioShock.
Yeah.
I put that on
yeah,
the list.
exactly. I mean, it has to be up there in terms of, and certainly with like Westerns. Have you guys played other Westerns?
I played Red Dead Revolver.
I did not, so I don't have that background.
I loved it. I don't think it was. I mean, it wasn't critically acclaimed.
It was not.
But I liked it because I like Western movies, and it really captured the feeling of Western movies. Like, so in that regard, I can kind of feel like the little inklings that turned into Red Dead Redemption, where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Western references like left and right. It's gonna be great. But Red Dead Revolver was extremely linear. Like there were levels that you had to go through, and it's kind of so you didn't have the freedom that you have in Red Dead Redemption, and it is like absolutely not required for you to play for Red Dead Redemption. Like, I mean, the connection is so tenuous that it's like,
I didn't. Yeah, I'm sure I missed something.
Yeah, they might as well not. Honestly, you do not have to play Red Dead Revolver. I liked it, but Red Dead Redemption is like, whoa, so much better. Because when I picked it up and played it, I was like, this is not what I expected at all. And I really, really like this. Red Dead Revolver was kind of set up where you go through a level, and then you kind of like have a showdown between you and another guy, and you kind of go into that like bullet time kind of mode to duel and kill them. So that's kind of it. There was a story, but the story wasn't nearly as compelling as the story in Red Dead Redemption. And this is my huge takeaway from Red Dead Redemption, which is because it's a Rockstar game.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I first started playing this game, I was like, oh, well, this is Grand Theft Auto set in the Old West with horses.
Right.
Instead of cars, there's horses.
Grand
Right?
Theft Horse, as it was called.
Yeah, exactly. But this actually made me care about the fucking characters in the game, and which has never, ever been the case in a Grand Theft Auto game.
You were like,
Never.
oh, Nico.
Never have I been like, oh, I died, and that made me sad.
I should go bowling.
Yeah,
I should go bowling.
Yeah.
It's true. The characters in Grand Theft Auto are not sympathetic. I don't feel like because they're mostly sociopaths.
Yeah, well, I mean, John Marston is a former gang member. So, I mean,
Right.
like it's real similar, but they do a really good job because they fucking humanize John Marston,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
they
Okay.
do not do to Grand Theft Auto characters,
That is
usually.
exactly it. Okay, so here's one of the things that I would say really separates it, and I think is I don't know what to make of it, but I think it distinguishes it from the Grand Theft Auto series, and that is that there is a strange I think there's a moralism in Grand Theft Auto as well. I think the game is telling you all
Sure.
the time, wow, those are really terrible things you're doing. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, but it glorifies it, right?
Yeah, and it's aware of itself.
Yeah.
So it knows that you're doing, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm
But-
okay with it too.
Yeah,
It's just
but
different.
It is different because in Red Dead Redemption, you cannot get a hooker. You can't beat her up and then take her money after you fucked her like you can in Grand Theft Auto. So there are things you can't do that your character he's more of a protagonist instead of playing, the antagonist all the time. You actually are on the side of the character that you're on, and he doesn't cheat on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this strange sort of moralism despite the fact that he could hogtie somebody and then shoot him in the head.
Which really fits the genre, don't you think? Because
Yeah,
that's
I
all
do.
about men with honor who do horrible
Yes.
things.
Honor among thieves
Yeah.
and all of that. And I think that that's a really Western kind of, maybe it's not a trope, but
I
it's,
think it is. Yeah.
it's something that seems to fit the Western mode. And I think that's where Rockstar Games really nailed this because it made it feel like your choices mattered. And if you kill somebody, and this is the other thing I have to say. So in my replay, I'm going to be a bad guy. The first time, I was always good, super honorable, never did anything. Now, I want to see what kind of bounty I can get. If I can go through the game and complete it and get like $1,000 bounty, $5,000 bounty. I want to see if I can do that. It's really hard.
Is there an achievement for that, for like having a super high bounty?
There probably is, but I didn't think of one. Maybe we could think of one. Wanted, dead or alive, something like that. There probably is a bounty though, or an achievement. Excuse me.
6 years ago, me would know the answer to that.
That's probably.
But I
true.
do not know that.
Well, I have a couple of questions for you guys about this game in terms of what did you find most memorable, or if you were going to tell somebody who's not played this game much or is going to go back and play it, would you say what really drew you into it?
Well, what drew me into it and what is memorable to me are a little different. Because what drew me into it was they nailed the feeling of a Western movie.
Yeah.
And I would love. I feel like, Josh, I know you enjoy watching Westerns, right?
I do. I watched 310 to Yuma, Unforgiven, and Young Guns 1 and 2 because I went back and played this game. I've watched 4 movies deliberately because I played this game again recently.
Well, I would love to see Rockstar do a Grand Theft Horse style game set in feudal Japan because there's so many parallels between Westerns and samurai films.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they're just kind of the same genre, just with a different kind of paint on them.
Yeah.
So I would love to
that's
see them
brilliant.
like go that way and do like this really cool, like Kurosawa style game. Like even like you could have a mode where it's like you can play the game in black and white.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like I think if anybody could make a compelling game for
Rockstar
that, it
could
would
do
be Rockstar, just based on Red Dead Redemption alone. So that's what drew me in, was just that they like from the beginning. I was like, oh, they get it. Like this isn't just like, oh well, no one's done a Western game, and I feel like we can make a lot of money if we do a Western game. It was like, oh shit, these people love Westerns. So that's
they really do.
That's what hooked me. And then what I find the most memorable, oddly enough, is the multiplayer. Because I played through this game single player.
I never did multiplayer. I've never done multiplayer. Not a single time.
It is, or it was, fucking amazing. It is the closest thing that I have ever played to UO since UO. Because it was just just hop in a game. All right, let's kill people. Like, there's people like just try to do the quests, and it's like I can just roll up and just. All right, cool, he's dead. Where's the next guy? And then what's great is like once that happens, I don't know how it works in the new Grand Theft Auto because like I know there's you
guys played
rampant
GTA
PvP.
Ryan gave me his computer to play it one time, but
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. If we're gonna do Dumb and Dumber references,
yeah, it's classic. But man, that PvP was so much fun because it was like one, and sometimes 90% of the time it was me who was starting the shit, but like that 10% of time, like when someone else would, it was great because the game all of a sudden shifted because it's all based on these like really loose alliances where it's like, let's knock out these quests, let's do this thing. And people are kind of working together with a feeling of like, is this guy going to kill me? Like, is this guy going to try to kill me?
That's perfectly Western. That's
I know.
That every bad guy gang has is that they're all thieves.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they going to stick together? Are they going to turn on each other? You know, they break themselves with their own tools.
They fucking nailed it, man. And it's great because when one person turns, all of a sudden, forget all the other objectives.
Yep,
everybody tries to kill that guy. And
I'm going to take what I want and run away. That's, oh my God, that's awesome.
That is so much fun being the guy who's like everyone's trying to kill. And it's just trying, because you have to be like wily. You have to like rely on this really like low cunning just to survive as long as you can. I think that's really, really fun.
One thing that I found the second time through that I didn't really explore enough were the caves. And there's like nothing to find in there. Like that's not where most of the treasure is if you're a treasure hunter. But if somebody's chasing you, and you can duck into a cave as long as you're not outnumbered, or you can shoot faster, you've got Deadeye, man, it'll save you no matter what. And I'd never noticed that, but that's a total bad guy thing. Like, oh, you got a posse after me? Fine.
Go in a cave.
How about this? How about we run into the desert here? You keep coming. All of a sudden, boom, I disappeared, and I'm going to kill all you guys. I can see you, and you can't see me. And if you corner me, you're going to burn.
Yeah. Tyler, I talked a whole shitload, and you didn't get to tell us what is most memorable for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess after playing this game, and I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I never played before or after. I've never played a Grand Theft Auto. It's only been this game.
So this is like a standalone experience.
It's a standalone
kinda.
for me.
Oh, don't play Grand Theft Auto if you love this.
I mean, because Ryan really wants me to play Grand Theft Auto 5, and I might do that someday, but...
Well, you can get double lap dances in Grand Theft Auto 5, and you can't do that in Red Dead Redemption. Just saying.
It frustrated me that I couldn't fuck hookers, but I understand it. I understand why you can't fuck a hooker. I get it.
It's an illusion of choice anyway.
Or more frustrated that you just couldn't be with, what's her name, McFarlane?
Yeah,
she's very sweet. It's
the
fine.
farmer girl.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible. The whole thing is.
But it's really strange. What stands out to me the most that I've taken out and I still use, I learned from Red Dead Redemption and still use to this day, is the game Liar's Dice.
Liar's Dice.
That's awesome. I love that game. That's easily my favorite game. That's one of my questions for you is what are the side games that you guys like? I love that one.
In all my D&D games, I'll usually introduce Noribo, who is a god of like gambling and fate. Mm-hmm. And what he will do is wager, like in D&D terms, you can like wager feats for other feats or wager character traits, things about your character. You can gamble them for additional traits to make them stronger or something like that. That's what Noribo does. And in order to do that, they will sometimes will play high card, low card, or just roll dice. Or what I really enjoy doing is playing Liar's Dice. And playing Liar's Dice as Noribo is fun because if I'm playing this like goofy, bombastic character, I'm very, very hard to read as trying to play as Noribo. So it's always fun in game to do that. And Liar's Dice is I had never heard of it beforehand before playing this game.
Me neither.
So
It's a lot more fun than the god I've got in my D&D game, Nabisco. He's the god of
crackers
snack
to death.
crackers. I mean, people love him.
He's fucking elf.
Yeah, he's an elven god. He's in the elven pantheon. What's his domain? Trees and crackers. Like, silly costumes.
oh, so you mean Krill and Lorethian? Okay.
Yeah. Commercialism.
I'm gonna set that tree on fire. God damn it.
Food engineering.
But I guess in game, like, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, and spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I don't know how much we're gonna say about spoilers about this game. It is
This game
pretty
is
old, but
if you don't know how it ends,
Stop now.
yeah.
Just stop me, because you do honestly like. Oh, you owe yourself. If you enjoy video games, you owe yourself to at least check this game out.
Yeah. So,
All right, so I have a couple things to talk about the ending too. So are we going to talk about that? Is that where you're going, Tyler?
yes.
Okay, let's do it. Let listeners tune out if you don't want to hear.
So last chance spoilers. Here you go.
We got your download. Doesn't matter.
But the at the quote unquote end, not quite, but the death of John Marston was
Oh,
yeah,
it's good. It's good. It's very, very good. It's very well done.
and how they pass the mantle on. I think that's really interesting too.
See, because I wish it would have just ended with that death,
Do you?
and that'd be it. And then like another sequel called like Red Dead Revenge, and then that be its own standalone game.
yes.
That would have been cool.
I totally agree because especially because you get his name is John Marston, but he's called Jack. I think that's okay. But he's feckless. That's the word. He doesn't have the fight. I have no backstory. I don't know why he's upset.
Because the thing is, after John dies, it does a cutaway to like 15 years in the future, maybe, and then you are his disillusioned, angry son.
Right. Which I love that, because that's like, I feel like that's another Western thing, because like his son, like his father was gunned down, and it's like now he has to redeem his family. So like
that's a good move. I just don't like Jack because he's not tough. He's always been this kind of, John could never quite whip him into shape. He doesn't have that edge that John does.
He looks like a pedophile.
He does.
Well, yeah, he does. He does kind of look like a pedophile. You're
He's
right.
got the worst. I mean, and it's okay. I don't pick on facial hair. I shouldn't, and I don't, because you get what you get.
Yeah, I was
And
dealt a
it's not
poor
up to you.
hand.
It's not. It's not up to you. So I don't want to pick on that. But Marston has a great beard with the scars, and Tyler, you've never given the Marston beard. But it's distinguishable, because it's got it's stubble, it's rough, it's edgy.
It's a beard that's seen some shit.
Yes, and the scars through it just make it very distinguishable. And so he's so tough. I just don't think Jack could possibly live into it. What's the worst thing that's happened to Jack? He can't rope a horse. He can't. He's never done anything except seen his dad get killed.
Well, what did it for me was like I loved that.
Oh, that's kind of elusive. He's never done anything except see his dad murdered.
And that's
It's like Josh Nance complaining about Fable. Like, you get called a murderer if you kill one person.
one person you could kill.
Well, I loved it because when I played this game as John, I wanted to stay in character. So I played him pretty good, wanting to do the right thing to save his family.
Yep.
But the whole time I was like, God, I want to do these bad things. I really I see these opportunities to do these bad things, and I'm having to like stave off that temptation because I'm playing John. I'm playing him like a character. I'm playing a character.
Stranger too. You are getting right at the heart of the "I know you, stranger," which is one of the things about this game that I think is. I don't want to interrupt you. Just keep going. But I want to talk about that.
So what I loved about the Switch is when I get to play Jack, It's like, oh shit, Jack's fucked up because he saw his dad die, and he's like mad at the world. He's young. He's like John back in the gang days. So it's like all bets are off. I'm bad. I'm doing all the bad things that I wanted to do earlier in the game because I feel like I have a motivation to do that.
Okay.
This world has fucked me over, and now I'm gonna fuck it back. So that was fun. I really, really like that because normally in games like Mass Effect and stuff like that, I feel like, well, I got one shot at this. And it's like I got to choose good or bad. It's not like I don't have the option to like, go back and like,
you can't do that.
Yeah, unless I start the game over again, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So,
I guess the only thing like
point. That's a really good point, Dave. Sorry.
There's there's a point to being good in this game. Like people will greet you, you get better prices at shops and shit like that. But other than like if you're evil, like it's just I guess the game's sort of more difficult. But also, I guess you could say the reward for being evil is it's more fun because I guess you get to do whatever the fuck you want. But at the same time, I wish there was like a deeper incentive for playing as a bad character.
Side.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I mean, and that might be something like because the game is 6 years old, like maybe they didn't really anticipate this kind of replayability. But and we haven't even talked about Undead Nightmare, which seems to totally be just about, hey, play our game again.
Yeah.
Guess what, zombies?
Oh man, this game did really well.
Yeah. Oh, look, Walking Dead is popular. Let's put zombies in the fucking West. Let's do that.
Yeah.
They did it in Pride and Prejudice. Fuck it. Let's do it here. So I get it. I get that. And I'll be honest, the Undead Nightmare, I've not played a lot of it because every time I play it, it's late at night, the lights are off, and I scare myself. And they all come running for me. I'm like, okay, I can't do it. I'm too alone right now. I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to play it in daytime.
Josh, I need you to play a game called Amnesia in the dark with a headset on.
Oh man, I probably will do that.
Please stream it. I'll give you the TADPOG credentials on Twitch. You can log in and just do it. Yeah.
You just want Wilhelm screams all the time.
That's the name of the stream, Wilhelm Screams.
Well, the Wilhelm scream, by the way, is in the game and is a Western thing. It first occurred in a Western.
You're right.
So that's part of it.
I love
think
that.
That's a good deal. Yeah, I mean, well, what do you guys think about? Okay, so when I first played this, and I was at seminary, so I was at Braddock Lee there, right, Tyler? You know where I was.
Yeah.
That place. And so I've got my TV in the living room there, and I would play the game out there, and my wife would be home. And she's studying to be a priest. And so, like, I'm shooting all these animals, and I go, and he skins them, and he's like, "Oh, what did you eat? Oh, my goodness."
I forgot about this.
Oh, that's a messy one.
Oh, man, I forgot about the shit he would say.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would do that, and Rebecca would just be like, "God, what are you playing?
Oh, my
What
God.
is the closest thing ever?" All she's hearing is like, "My goodness, what did you eat?"
Gosh, I love that you're telling this story because I had the same exact thing happen to me because I remember like I used to play on the television in the living room and I remember at one point like because I get on these weird like obsessive kicks where it's like, oh, I'm just going to kill animals and skin them for 3 hours. And
that's how you make money in the game. That's the easiest way to do it.
I remember Nikki being like, "What are you doing and can you stop it?" Because every time, like, oh man. And at one point she's like, "Doesn't he get used to it at some point?"
I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm imagining my wife have these conversations like with Meg. Like, I don't know about your husband, but mine is like obsessively killing animals. Do you think that's a sign? Do you think there's something wrong with my husband? He's also watching a lot of Dexter.
Animal Dexter.
There's blood all the time. There's just blood on the screen all the time. What's wrong with my husband? So that leads me to what I think is the single best legal cheat in the game. And if you know what I'm talking about, stop me. But it's where you put your horse right on top of the dead animal.
No. What is this?
Oh my goodness! Oh, I'm about to change the game for you. Okay, so put your horse right on top of the dead animal, and then get off. press triangle, get off,
Yeah.
and then it say skin animal, and like you do it, and it will happen immediately, and you don't go through that whole
Oh,
visual.
motherfucker.
You 30 seconds every animal you kill, and you will just rack up wolf pelts and buck antlers, and you don't ever have to see any of that stuff.
Damn it.
Once I learned that, wife didn't say anything anymore.
Did you go to Google how to turn off animal skinning sound
Red Dead
effects?
Redemption appease wife.
Yeah.
Dude, type into Google, I don't kill animals. That will not help you. That will actually lead you. Yeah, people will find you. But yeah, that's the best cheat in the game, because you can kill anything you want, and then you just run your horse to stand right on top of it. Now, it doesn't work for if you're going to be a survivalist, if you're going to do the flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
You'll still get the flower automation, but you won't get any of the skinning stuff if you're standing on top of the animal. And it also doesn't work for looting bodies. But if you can save yourself some time, especially with the big animals, like you kill a bear, you just stand over it and boom, triangle, boom, you've got all the bear stuff, and just run out. It's fine. It'll save you a lot of time.
Fucking cougars, though, man.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Fucking
dude.
cougars.
I can't
Okay.
tell you. The most deaths in this game were from me on horseback trying to shoot a bird. And then all of a sudden, whoa, I'm off the horse, and there's a fucking cougar.
And you're just
who
dead.
yeah.
Just dead.
Yep. Some
Or even if I'm
panther-
just riding my horse, then suddenly, dead. I saved 45 minutes ago. Great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I can't wait to go back there and redo all of this. But that also is part of the. As much as I hate that, I've come to learn to play with it, because the environment in this world is really solid. Like the shadows, they all work. If you hear something, if you hear dogs, if you hear horses, if you hear gunshots,
Yeah.
they're near you.
Yeah.
You can find them. And the sunrise and the sunset. The only thing that doesn't seem to matter is weather. It never impacts anything that you do. But everything else seems to work together. And when you hear that cougar, or you hear the wolves howling, or you hear the dogs barking, if you're on the horse, it's well, am I going to stay here, or am I going to get ambushed? And you can run away just based on sound. I don't think I can name another game where the sound was so important or so well done that I felt like I was in that space and I knew which way to go based on what I heard.
Have you seen the video of the blind guy beating Ocarina of Time based solely on the sounds?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It took him years, but he constantly used Navi to the hey listen, and where Navi went and stuff like that helped him navigate and move, and then based on how he would hit his sword, he'd find doors.
Wow.
And things like that.
That's
It
cool.
was pretty interesting
That is awesome.
because he plays with two large stereo speakers on either side, so then he knows what direction enemies are coming from and where to go, and it was really awesome.
He's Daredevil, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And that's really incredible. It says a lot about him, but also about what they put into sound design to make it feel like you're in that environment. Because one problem with stereo is that you can overemphasize, and it can be overly realistic in the sense that you just you turn left or right, and it's really kind of just off center in front of you.
Yeah,
And
because
so
his I think he had a problem with Ganon. He just said there's so much sound, so much going on with Ganon. His only lifeline was be able to hear Zelda's footsteps, and then that could lead him to his sword and lead him around.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. I mean, I'm an audiophile. I love sound stuff, so that's super cool. I'm gonna look that up. That's really. I assume, Dave, this is where you say it'll be in the show notes.
At tadpog.com.
Right.
I already typed it in, along with girls kissing. I'm going to see if that's a subreddit. I hope it is.
I mean, if not, we can make it, I guess.
You and I just dress up like girls, kiss each other, take photos.
Yep. Man, we found these two sluts willing to make out.
Check these girls out.
One even glued on a beard to throw people off.
They're hot, right? Right, they're hot. They're hot, though, right?
They're passably hot. Do you guys remember the outrage this game caused when it first came out?
I don't.
Over the character Irish
Oh,
being culturally insensitive.
I just played that. Look, it was Irish, Welsh, and Scottish. All three were racially insensitive. I'm Welsh and German. I saw it. I didn't give a shit.
No, I didn't either.
That man, that's crazy.
It's just like the Irish guy being super drunk asshole. I remember there was outrage about it initially.
Just played it. All three of them were exactly this. I'm waiting for the Welsh outrage.
Do the Welsh get angry about anything?
Make a statement at all. I've never heard anything. Yeah, and they're way drunk. I mean, shit. You want to talk about beer drinkers?
Aren't hobbits like based on Welshmen? There's my cultural insensitive thing. I'll say.
You go.
It didn't bother me that
That's
much.
me.
I didn't give a shit. You know,
Well, it was just
I
because-
am Irish, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, it's like in a Western movie, that's how he would be depicted. Like,
Yeah.
so it's tough because then it's also like, well, how about other races? How would they be depicted? You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it, but it's like at the same time, I don't know.
Well, they did a terrible job. They in terms of Westerns, like they lumped all Indians together instead of separating the groups or tribes, because not all of them were angry. Some of them were very peaceful and were not as nomadic, and so like you get all of that. But like, if the Irish are upset about how they're treated in the Western video game,
Yeah.
man, this is a bigger conversation. We don't. There's a lot more to talk about.
Fucking Irish privilege.
Grand Theft Ellis Island's a totally different game. Then you're Jonathan McTurleahy, and you're battling the American forces. It's fine. That based entirely on the tidbit that John Turley told me that if his family came over from Ireland, they went from McTurleahy to Turley on Ellis Island because the guy who took it didn't know how to spell it.
You just threw the Mick in there just for good measure.
You have to know he's Irish.
Yeah. It's got the brogue.
This game has some of the best glitches in it, just eerie glitches. And I've seen a few of them, and they're fucking terrifying. They're a lot more terrifying than any of like the Undead Nightmare stuff. When you see like a human skin texture just like thrown on like a fucking cougar or something, it's like, oh my god, no.
Because I think you've told me about like the man horse.
Yes, the man horse. That'll be in the show notes at tadpog.com. But do not fucking click on it because it will give you nightmares. I promise.
It's true. I mean, I just can't think of a game that's had this kind of resonance with me in the last 10 years. This is one of those that I'd have to put up there. And you'd say like, all right, like yeah, you're talking about like your BioShock kind of game or something that just allows you to keep living in the world even after you've beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
I want. Well, I guess I'll make it a question. Do you guys want a sequel to this game? And if you did, what would you want to see in that?
Well, I told you what I wanted mine to be. But
Right.
I
keep hearing rumors of sequels, so that's why I bring it up. Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, as well as it was received and as much as it sold, I mean, I would love to see a sequel. But honestly, like, I'm gonna go back to my like feudal Japan thing. I would like to see something
that would be pretty cool,
similar
like,
but different.
True's Last Samurai, but like live into that time period and place.
Oh yeah. I think there's like a wealth of
a Welsh
of I can pull from.
Yo.
How about you, Josh? Would you like to see a sequel?
I would, and I don't want it to be Jack, and that gets me to this. You guys know of the alternate ending? Like, what if John doesn't die? Do you guys know this?
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I have an achievement in the game.
Josh is oh shit and ends the Skype call.
Yeah, not friends anymore.
I'm done. I'm out. Yeah.
And it's the wiki. It's gone. It's fine.
I just learned it because I played the ending straight. And so, all right, spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, check out for like 90 seconds. It's Josh. It's like probably 300 seconds. So you get the little, he slaps his horse. And by the way, his wife Abigail looks strangely like Bonnie. So
She does.
yeah, and I like both of them. So he slaps the horse, and Jack and Abigail run away. The horse gets scared, runs off. And he says, "I love you," and she says, "I love you," and it's the last time they're gonna say that. And you get this. So that's all in this animation. He goes and he looks out the door, and it's like 20, 30, maybe 35 people standing out there ready to just blast him. And so this is your Young Guns. Spoilers for Young Guns if you haven't seen it. At the end, they have a shootout in the house. So that's what this is. So what are you going to do? You're going to walk out there and do that. And so I just assume, like, oh, that's what you do. So he looks out the door. He sees all those people. You go out there, and you immediately go into Deadeye. And it's as many people as you can kill. And I killed 7. And then the other, like, 20-something just cut me down. And you die. And then all of a sudden, you're Jack. And you come back, and you see your John Marston. You see him dead there in the blood, right? But there's an alternate ending. And I call this achievement, if you can figure it out, Brave, Brave Sir Robin.
Oh God! Oh God! I know how you unlock it.
That's it. That's it. What is it, Dave? You wanna call it? What happened?
You just fucking run away from the fight.
That's all you do. That's the whole ending. When danger reared its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail and fled. And you look out the door and you see all them, and you're like, yeah, fuck that. And he hits the horse, and Abigail and Jack run off, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna run out the door, and you just hightail it toward the hills and run away, and that's it. And
the game ends? Like, do you get a cinematic or anything?
Yep. You can look it up. I put a link on the TADPOG on the Facebook page to the alternate ending if you do this, so the listeners can see it. But yeah, you just run away.
And he's like, "Well, that was close."
Well, and then they all just leave, and that's it.
You hear the shouts of a dying woman and child.
Did no one circle around back? Well, shit.
No, nobody is in the back door. That's exactly it. Nobody is behind the house. They're all in front of the house. So if you just run away, John lives. That's it. End of game.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Does he just go by himself, or?
Okay, so I haven't played that out. I've only been playing the Jack one, so I only did that one time on one of my save slots. So I haven't played out what happens with John. But Edgar Ross just like shakes his head and walks away, and then you just play on, and you still have all your stuff. You still have everything. So here's my question: if you're going to make a sequel to Red Dead Redemption, you're going to go with Jack or John?
Neither. I'm gonna go with Irish. It's a really difficult game. The controls are all sloppy.
Undead Dutch.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Or no, as the lawman, just doing paperwork.
I'd like to see it as you're playing man horse.
It's called Red Dead Tape, and it's just a bureaucracy simulator.
Isn't that like Papers, Please?
Oh God, man, Papers, Please.
Right? I haven't played it yet. I've heard it. I mean, I've wanted to because I heard the episode.
Oh, I love that game.
Is it good?
Yeah, no, it is good.
Oh. Every now and then, Tyler, I've seen you playing that on Steam. This is over like the last 6 months, so I don't want to make it sound like that's what you've been playing.
My sister-in-law played it for a while at Christmas. But 2 other moments I remember now that I really enjoyed are remember the first time you get behind the minigun in that.
Yeah.
I love that, and then riding into Mexico for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep. Feel particularly epic.
Yeah. Everything in Mexico I loved in the game. Like it was really cool. Like thinking about like the shootout in the main city there. Like that is amazing, and I could have played that 1,000 times differently. Doing something different each time. And having a bounty in Mexico is also really fun.
See, I haven't had that because I always played the good guy the first time. So this time I'm going to do that. I'm not there yet. Also, 5 of the 9 treasures are in Mexico.
I forgot about the treasures, honestly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those are so hard. Yeah.
Did you guys catch any of the 4 horsemen or the 4 horses of the apocalypse?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. God.
I think I got 1.
That is so cool.
Which one did you get?
I want to say I got famine.
Yeah, I think I got plague.
I got Plague.
Let's see. I know, because I feel like the game does like want you to play Marston good because of the advantages.
It
Plus,
does.
you get rewarded twice as much for not killing people. If you go a bounty hunter, you get twice as much for turning them in alive, and you get more fame in gunfights or in duels if you shoot the gun out of their hand as opposed to killing them.
Which I love because it's like I feel like you should be rewarded more because doing it that way is so much more difficult.
So harder. It's
like
way harder.
Bringing in a live bounty is fucking frustrating sometimes because they obviously do not want to be taken in, and it's like at any moment that any chance they get to escape, they're gonna fucking try to escape.
They fall off your horse and they run away tied up. Yeah.
Oh, and how frustrating is it? Has this ever happened to you where you're like riding into town with a bounty and then all of a sudden the fucking cougar pops out and it's like, oh my god! And then it's just chaos because the bounty is like, oh, trying to like run away tied up, and then all of a sudden you see like a coyote going after him. It's like, fuck, what do I do?
Well, and the worst part is like it's often not a monetary benefit to bring him in alive. Like you could make that much money playing liar's dice. Easy,
Sure.
If you've got 2 or 3 other players. So like you don't care if they die. You're just trying to not kill them. So when the cougar takes down your horse. Yeah.
And one little thing I want to say about Undead Nightmare, which I thought it was a cool idea, but zombies rushing you, and this game has basically no melee.
No melee.
They made it like there was like I think at one point I remember I just stood on like a shed where they couldn't shoot me and just like stood there for a long time till they gathered around me, and then I would try to throw something and run off or whatever, but it was so frustrating. It's like I see what you did here, and it didn't work. It wasn't very fun for me all the time.
I didn't finish it. It was like, oh, this is fun. This is a fun thing, but I'm not super into it like I was the main story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also did scare me, and I realized I was like, it's all Deadeye. You've got to kill as many as you can as fast as you can. So all your Deadeye benefits, that's what you need for the undead nightmare. And I wasn't really into that as much. I mostly just wanted to turn it off and watch something funny on TV, so I wasn't scared.
And I have one last story / anecdote in my notes about Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
A guy I know was a voice actor in Red Dead Redemption.
Really?
Oh,
And
really?
he's not like a major. One character who has a farm on like the western side of the map.
Yeah?
And that's all he does. Very minor character. But I remember hearing about that. I thought, it was cool. But I am
cool.
much closer friends with a girl who is his jilted ex.
Oh,
So
my.
when this game came out, we were all playing it, and she came over, and then
Oh no!
Did you just happen to be in that
no.
location or something?
Oh no!
well, she came over, and then my friend MJ brought it up, and then she's like, yeah, I heard about that, blah blah, and he was like, okay, so he takes the controller, he knows where it is, he goes, finds it, saves, and then just kills him, and as many fucked up ways as possible, kills all his livestock, burns everything down, and she has like the most gleeful look on her face the whole time this is going on. So she was just like kept covering her face and like, but she was like barely containing this like psychotic happy laughter of like,
Can you make him say he regrets all his life decisions?
Could you make him say he loves me and then I'll shut the game off?
Hold on. I gotta eat the cat. Wait a minute.
Wow, that's epic.
Yeah.
But see, this game gives you that kind of opportunity. I think we all want that in a game.
I
The
agree.
ability to shoot our exes several thousand times if necessary.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
had a lot of fun today talking about Red Dead Redemption with you and Time Lord Josh Edwards. Before we close it out, there are a couple questions that you're probably used to at this point. Maybe not. The first of which being, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, I feel like Josh Edwards gave you a really, really good suggestion earlier,
Sorry.
but I don't know. Maybe you don't want to use that. But if you were to give it a beard, what kind of beard would you give it?
I would give this Humphrey Bogart's beard from The Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
What? Okay, I'm not familiar with that film.
Ranked by Rotten Tomatoes as the best Western of all time.
Wow.
Well, I will watch that.
I will as well, because I've never even heard of it, because I am a Luddite.
It's like 1949, something like that.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
old. Number
That was
2.
on the short list of movies that Rebecca and I were going to watch. Old movies we were going to watch. That was one of them. We haven't watched them yet.
I think number 2 was like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Man, that's such a good Western.
I do love that.
That's a formative kind of film for me, because I remember that's like the first. I think that's the first movie that I actually had a bonding moment with my dad, because that one is like
that's nice. Yeah,
that is
yeah.
so that one's like always got like that's a special movie to me.
Yep, it's got heart every time. Yep.
Before I ask you the next question, Tyler, I'm gonna throw a curveball in. What's your favorite Western?
Three Amigos.
Three Amigos? That's a valid and very good answer.
That was also in my notes. I was thinking about asking it, so I'm glad you did it. That one was locked in the barrel. That was
I know,
ready to
you
go.
were ready. You dead-eyed me.
You're whooping.
I haven't seen a lot of Westerns, but I didn't really love Three Amigos.
Josh, do you have a favorite?
My current favorite is 310 to Yuma, because in the tradition of good Westerns, it's got two stories to tell. There's this good and evil thing, but it's also set in this time period, and I love that. I watched it twice in the last week, and I just love that movie. It's a great movie. I also loved Unforgiven. I'm going to cheat and give you like 5 Westerns.
Perfect.
Yeah, Unforgiven, also a fantastic Western. My dad was big into the Clint Eastwood series early on, so Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's like definitely on. And then you know what was really fun was Django Unchained, because it was a twist
Yeah.
on a guy by a guy who really knew Westerns, and so all the twists were tied into what you traditionally expected, and they gave you something else, and I liked all of that. But
Despite
is that good? You like that?
Oh, I fucking love that. Despite the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly being, I mean, I feel like that has to be my favorite, just because of like the personal connection that I've got because of that movie. I really, really love Once Upon a Time in the West. Like that, I think it is I think it's an overlooked
I'm gonna watch
Western.
that again. I'll probably watch it tonight. Yeah.
And that is an amazing one, because you don't see a lot of Westerns that are set in the early 1900s.
Right.
And this
Right.
is, so it's like you see
Later
like
era.
they're like like really early cars, even like I think it's set in 1912.
It's that transitional phase, and that's part
And
of the
that's
movie. Is I remember it.
exactly. And it's like big on the railroad. It's an amazing movie. I love it.
I think that's what Young Guns 2 was trying to do in some ways, like keeping the spirit of Billy the Kid alive in the 50s.
I haven't seen Young Guns 2.
Oh, it's not a great movie, but it's a
movie.
It's good in the sense that if you enjoyed the original Young Guns and you liked that they were trying to give you some historical accuracy with Hollywood sensationalism, and you liked those characters, then Young Guns 2 sort of gets into some of the what happened with Billy the Kid. And Young Guns 2 errs on the side of, we don't know, we think he might have got away, and if he did, this is what it might look like. And that's fun. But you know, that's if you're into that, it's just continuing the Young Guns flavor. And there's some funny lines, but I wouldn't put it in top Westerns. It's piggybacking. So
I also really like Westerns, or I like horror movies that are set in the Western, like where they kind of meld the Western genre with it.
Cowboy versus Aliens.
Cowboys versus
You're gonna
aliens.
say it.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did we not bring up Wild Wild West the whole time we've done this?
that's what I was just gonna
That's
say.
the sequel to Red Dead I want to see, like with robots and shit.
With the giant mechanical spider. Yeah. We voice act it, obviously.
And I mean, just so no one gets mad, I've never seen it, but I have to mention Tombstone. That's always one people always mention.
Josh and I were just talking about Tombstone last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, and Tombstone is one of those movies that I really liked the first time I saw it, and every time I've seen it since, I like it a little bit less.
I know. Yeah, I'm the same way.
but-
It does not age well.
No,
I have
it
to bring
doesn't.
up Deadwood.
Ooh,
I never seen Deadwood.
watched it. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I feel like it's a failing in my moral character.
I bet you thought I was going to say Maverick with Mel Gibson, didn't you?
Hey, man, that's good. I've actually seen that one. So behind Three Amigos is Maverick. So,
Gambler with Kenny Rogers. We're watching all 4 of them.
and then
It's made for TV movies.
what is it like? Quigley Goes West, Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck. I think that counts.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's a good mustache.
City Slickers? City Slickers, anyone?
City Slickers 2, The Quest for Curly's Gold.
City Slickers is I'm gonna fight for City Slickers. I would say they knew what a Western was, but they put City Slickers in it. Okay.
I know I love Cities. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I loved City Slickers.
It's actually good. It's actually really good. It's a good movie. And Phil Duvall will go to bat till he's dead and tell you it's one of the best movies you can ever see.
Of Second Breakfast Podcast.
Yes.
Link in the show notes.
Yeah, that's right. If you were going to do any crossovers, a Western crossover might be interesting. If you like Westerns, they could probably talk a lot about that. And I guarantee you Phil Duvall would go to bat for City Slickers and Three Amigos, and he will swing until he's dead.
Well, Three Amigos is amazing. It's an amazing movie.
It's an amazing movie. It is. It's really good.
Back when Chevy Chase meant something.
Yeah, before everybody hated him
Let's
because
not,
he just
yeah.
Right
Let's
before he
not.
self-destructed.
I can't talk about Chevy Chase, guys.
It's true.
I was having a good time.
I got this pair of glasses here, though, Dave.
Tyler, what kind of glasses do you have? If you would give this game a pair of glasses.
Since I have to give it a pair of glasses, I'm
Shopkeep.
giving it 2 clone bodies of Hugh Glass. And Hugh Glass is the frontiersman that The Revenant was based off of.
Have you seen The Revenant?
Yes.
I knew
Is
that.
it good?
I have
It's
seen
great,
it.
huh?
No.
No, I haven't seen
No.
it. It's not, you know.
It's a softball lob to finally give Leo
is it?
an Oscar. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not amazing.
Bummer.
Everything revolves around that character, and everything that happens to him is fucking awful for like 3 hours.
Okay.
My favorite part of the Oscars was when Chris Rock remade the trailers and substituted Leslie for the bear in The Revenant. Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live.
SNL.
I love Leslie Jones. Her SNL with Peter Dinklage was so good.
Oh God, that was so good.
How was she as the bear?
So good. Yeah, she's the bear. She's the bear. She's like, get off! And she's like yelling, and I just fucking lost it. I just lost it. That was good. That was good. Also, The Revenant was 3 hours like longer than it needed to be.
Could have been 15 minutes. Guy gets mauled by a bear, son dies.
Okay.
Guy goes kill guy who killed son. Done.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Oscar.
I went home and I've started watching the Ken Burns The West series, which if you really just want to sit there and look at landscapes, watch Ken Burns. And that's what I've done. And they finally got to Hugh Glass. It's taken 4 hours, and I was like, God, even they don't treat it as long as The Revenant did. The Hugh Glass section is pretty small. So
And that's saying a lot because that's Ken Burns.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Ken Burns can gloss over it. So can you.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all I got on Red Dead Redemption. Josh, do you have any closing thoughts on it?
I have a couple questions for you guys, not related to Red Dead Redemption. I also wasn't sure if you guys had any achievements.
It had
No, I
achievements,
had
so I
them,
didn't do
so
any.
I didn't do them.
Oh, okay. I had a couple. I don't need to talk about them.
Please, no. You know, you took the time to write them. You should read them.
Well, I told you one, the Brave Sir Robin. That's an alternate ending. Yahtzee, win 5 games at Liar's Dice. I'll Make You Famous, win 10 straight duels. And then S'mores, which is where you hog tie someone and light them on fire.
Oh, I don't know how we got through this whole thing without talking about hog tying a woman and putting her on the train tracks.
Sadly Whiplash style.
Yeah,
So,
because that does unlock an achievement.
it does. Also, Project Runway. That's if you get all of the outfits. I have unrelated questions that I'm curious if you wanted to answer.
Oh, they're big. Next question.
These are not related to Red Dead Redemption. This is totally, bonus material. Worst tits.
In the game?
No.
Just
no,
period?
Not related, period. I'm going to give you answers. You're going to have to pick one.
The most disappointing ones for me was I loved Tara Reid.
Man, yeah, you're right.
I mean, like that,
Yeah.
but that was like a switch in my mind when I saw when I saw them. It was like, oh nope, 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 nope,
Yeah.
nope, 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 nope. Someone did you wrong, girl.
A badly
Yeah.
botched job.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, this is just a mini gauntlet. This is what I do with Second Breakfast, and I send them these kinds of questions.
I know.
So-
I love your gauntlets on that show.
Well, thank you.
I
man.
love hearing you mentioned on there, and I heard you mentioned on the last episode of Hops and Heroes too.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so here you go. You ready? Just a couple questions.
Well, I want to hear Tyler's worst tits.
I'm trying to think of her name.
All right. Let me give you options, and you pick.
Oh, this is multiple choice. Oops, I jumped the gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Oops.
It's all right. Worst tits. Penny from Big Bang, so that's Kaylee Cuoco.
Okay.
Katy Perry
Oh,
or Jenna Jameson.
well, I don't know. There's only one that I've really seen.
Jenna Jameson.
Yeah, right. That's what I would say too. But I've seen those.
Oh.
Like in full, like I know what those look like. I kind of just like I know what portions of the others look like, and I have to like kind of construct it in my mind, like the second Death Star, where it's like not fully complete, but it's like, oh, I bet they're really good.
Right. See, so follow-up question: do you think it's because you haven't seen them fully that you've made them perfect?
Congratulations, Josh. You know me.
Okay.
I think I've seen you see enough like upshots or nip slips of the other two.
Have there been-
I know their nipples are not what I prefer,
There's a mystery.
or they're
There's a
closer to what I
little
prefer.
mystery there.
Have there been nip slips of either of those two? Please
Yeah.
tell me yes.
Like
Really?
Kaylee Cuoco, I think they're like topless beach shots of her somewhere.
Show notes.
Yeah. Also, show notes, Dave. That we need to.
I'm on it.
Okay.
But no, Jenna Jameson, I was disappointed. Like I had never watched her porn before, but like till she got huge,
like
and then I
this?
was like, I checked it out, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
not my thing.
All comparable. Thought maybe that would be okay.
I do agree with you though, honestly, and I do honestly think that my answer is because I haven't seen the other two or the other four.
That's right. I went to Bonnaroo one year, and we were keeping a list of like marking down all the tits we've seen, and mine ended with 15. There was.
I love this game.
It was an odd number.
I love this game.
It's another story. Anyway.
What else you got, Josh?
All right. Which Seth would you most want to get drunk with? Seth Rogen, Seth MacFarlane, or Seth Green?
Seth Green.
Ooh, that was my dark horse.
I'm gonna go Seth Rogen. Because I feel like that would lead into other things that I'd like to do with Seth Rogen.
Oral, whatever.
Oh yeah. I'm giving him a bathroom massage.
Yeah. All right. Another one. Worst voice: Barry White, Jeremy Irons, or James Earl Jones?
Oh man, why you gotta make this so hard?
That's the point.
They're all really good.
What was the first one again?
Barry White.
Barry White, Jeremy Irons, or James Earl Jones?
Barry White.
That's what I'm going. I'm going Barry White too.
Same.
Electric Boogaloo, but I can't betray James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons. Holy shit, man! That's like his voice speaks for itself. But
He killed Mufasa. He killed James Earl Jones. He killed
I
Mufasa.
know. Oh wow. Yeah, you put that in perspective for me. All right. So yeah, I'm going Barry White as well.
Okay. We're all agreed. I only have two questions left.
Okay.
One more multiple choice and one open answer.
Worst vagina.
Oh, you're close. You're so close. You have no idea how close you are. You have no idea.
So worst butthole.
Worst butthole. Yeah.
It's very close.
Worst back vagina.
Oh God. All right. Best shoulders.
Ooh.
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, you went that way with it.
There's two questions left, so
Okay.
I'll do you right. Chris Hemsworth, Henry Cavill, anyone in a Batman suit.
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, I saw him recently on SNL, so I can't say Chris Hemsworth because they do this whole. Tyler, I'm sure you've seen it where they do this skit where they're like, I can't remember the name of the cast member who like it plays his twin on this like Disney Channel.
Taron Killam.
Yeah,
We're twins. Well, except he has those masculine shoulders and his belly doesn't protrude out. Is it like little sweat stains on him?
So I can't say Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Anyone in a Batman suit, that's what I'm going with because of Adam West.
All right. Oh, that's nice. That's a.
Look, I love Adam West. I do.
And George Clooney.
Like, I love Adam West, but
I love what Adam West.
Mano's not in shape.
That round is a shape.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What I love about superheroes, like TV shows, where it's like, when I watched like when I was a kid and I watched old Superman, even as a kid, I was like, man, did they not know what a strong person looked like?
Yeah, there was something about that, like, I think my dad could take him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, did this pass as strong in the 1950s?
It was pre-high fructose corn syrup and pre-steroids.
Yeah.
And things I think divided the country.
It was Adam West or Jack LaLanne, and Jack LaLanne was very busy. So
what you're saying, Josh, was that it was pre-hot bodies.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's when dad bods were the strong,
Dad
the
bods,
strongest.
yeah. Man, I wish we could bring that back.
It came back for a little while.
Oh my God, Hot Bodies was the first. No, Hard Bodies. Hard Bodies was the first like HBO movie that I saw that had boobs in it.
It wasn't Porky's like me.
I think it was Hard Bodies. I think that's what it's called. Show notes. Look it up. Hard Bodies. I think there's a thing. I think there's like sunscreen on some woman's tummy. I think that's like her. Tummy. I said tummy.
I know. I want to cut that out and sell it on iTunes as a ringtone. Josh Edwards saying tummy.
So Josh Nance also, that's his go-to word for it as well, so it's fine.
Speaking of show notes, longest show notes in TADPOG history, I feel like we've got right now.
All right, well, I have one more question if you guys are game. And
Yes.
this is open-ended. It's not multiple choice. You just get to say your answer. And I will not be responding, so this is a would you rather.
Okay.
The early Lord Micah.
Stepping on Exalted Lord Mike's toes. I guess. I think he stopped.
Okay, so, and this was close to what you asked or said earlier, Dave, but the question is, the JJ you most want to see.
Does this have to be a celebrity? Can I choose
Choose anybody.
Can I choose someone I know?
Yeah, but if we don't know her, you'll have to explain that.
No, I am not doing that.
That's up to you. Or you can go celebrity. I have a short list. But you guys go ahead. Just wide open-ended there, spread eagle. But JJ, you most want to see.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be a would you rather vagina.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that I won't answer. That's the way.
Oh, got you. So you're not going to eat the spam. You're going to bring the spam.
So Lord Mike style, you're also not gonna eat the spam.
You guys squid in a can. I'm not eating that shit.
Helen Mirren.
Oh,
Wow, interesting choice. Yes.
that is. Boy, you do love the Golden Girls, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Or Mother Teresa, because no one else has seen it.
Okay.
So maybe the only one.
Here's my thing.
You're an archaeologist of vagina.
Yep.
I want to dust them off and see if there's something there. Okay.
It's been extremely rare that I've seen a vagina, like even like in adult films or anything like that, where I've been like, oh my God, look at that beautiful vagina. But like the opposite has definitely happened a million times, where it's like, oh my God, what is wrong with that? So what I guess what I'm saying is, like, I'm not a visual connoisseur of vaginas. As long as they look okay, like as long as they look healthy, I'm good. So I don't really. It's weird. I spend a lot more time thinking about boobs and tummies than I do vajayjays, or at least looking at them. So I guess I'd have to go with
Tummies.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to say Jennifer Connelly, but I feel like I'm worried that I'd be disappointed because
list?
So I don't know, but I guess that's my answer. I guess it is.
Goodness. Okay.
I feel like I'm setting myself up for disappointment, though, because, like,
No, it's. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's.
she's not a young woman anymore.
It's all right.
That's I'm sure that's gotten a lot of that. Yeah.
There could just be a curiosity component
Yeah.
to it. It's totally fine.
Yeah. A lot of packages have been shipped in that box, I think.
Maybe.
Yes. All right. So I made a list of 3 people that I thought one of you would say.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Do you hear that motorcycle outside or whatever that is? That's our new trainsy.
So here's the list, Dave. Do you want to hear this?
I do. More than anything.
Jennifer Lawrence. I limited
Oh.
myself to Jennifer's.
That's,
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's Josh for sure.
Yeah, I do. Jennifer Lawrence, Jennifer Garner, and Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, man. You got
Those are my
one.
3. You hit my last one. My last one I was like, God, Jennifer Connelly. Oh yeah, I didn't look at that.
Yeah. I'm more interested in seeing other
I would have
parts
went
of her.
Jennifer Tilly before any of those.
Jennifer Tilly.
I'm going for if we're just doing all Jennifers.
Oh man. Well, you should have been here to make my list. Damn it.
I tried. I always text you. Need to know some vaginas? You never say anything.
People talk about dick pics. Nobody's talking about the vajayjay pics. They're getting no love.
Look.
No.
So
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know,
no
man.
one's really getting that. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna get one of those and be like, oh, what a bitch. You know.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
I was sent one of those one time by accident. No, because I did not know the person. It was it was like a random text that I got where it was just like, it took like 3 seconds to be like, what is it? Oh, wow. That does not look good at all. Okay. And so like my text back was, you may want to get that checked out.
The text back was, whose is this, Paul?
yeah,
I enjoyed your gauntlet.
What did you think before you realized what it was? What were some of the options?
I didn't know because it was just like I've never been sent something like that. That's the reality I live in, where no one's just sending me photos of their body parts. So it was one of those where it was like, what? That's that ain't that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could you show this to your doctor?
Could you put it in the show notes?
Excuse me, miss. I got to get back to words with friends. Can you please stop sending me your gross vagina?
That's right. I've got a word for you.
Unflattering.
That's right. Triple word score. Triple letter on the F. So.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on TADPOG. You can find it on TADPOG.
You can.
On iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So don't miss the next episode. It's gonna be a TADPOG about an SNES game.
We're doing that for Monday, right? Or are we doing this for Monday?
I think we should do this for Monday.
Okay. All right. Sweet. So there's a little behind the curtains
Yeah,
thing.
there you
We
go.
don't communicate ever.
We don't know. We don't know.
Spoilers.
Well, I had a game in mind I wanted to do, but then it turns out like I want to play more of it. So now we need
It's a
to
good thing.
switch it up a little bit.
It's a good problem to have.
We do love consistently though is 5-star iTunes reviews.
Yeah,
So
we do.
please go to iTunes, find TADPOG, subscribe, give the show a 5-star rating, write a review, and there's guest host you want on a show, or a game you want us to do, or a Patreon request, whatever it is, whatever you put in there, we promise we'll get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about something. Tyler's played something. I haven't. I've just done nothing. I actually do have a few things to say. I've been playing some tiny things that I like to mention. So come back for my tiny things. Dave's Tiny Things podcast.
I listened to that.
Here's a list of things that I realize are tiny, guys. Bacteria, viruses, micro
week-
machines,
This week on Dave's Miniatures,
Legos.
sprinkles.
Also small.
the one peg Lego pieces.
So impossible to get off once they're on.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, you can always find us at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Want to see the longest list of show notes we've ever done? You want to see what it looks like for me to hunt down links for 2 hours and put them in show notes? Go find them on the site.
I'm the Time Lord. This is what I do to you.
Yeah.
Hard.
You're a harsh Time Lord. You're a dark Time Lord. You're like when someone really pisses Tennant off and he like banishes them to some kind of like living hell. You can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. That's right. I tell you what, here's your challenge. Hop on there and let us know how Josh did today. Just let us know. Just be completely honest. Just be completely honest and let
savagely brutal in your honesty.
Savagely brutal. Yeah. Don't
savagely positive.
Don't save an intro story.
Don't hold any positivity back. Just let it go.
Let it
fly like Peter North after a week of abstinence. Just let it go.
Like, yeah. Good show. Good is crossed out. It's just show.
You can also find us on Twitter. We're at TADPOG_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Hey, thank you to everybody who retweets us. I appreciate it. Hey, do you have some extra time on Twitter? Check out Terrible Fan Art. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is a great account. I'm not sure if I am allowed to tell you who created that account because he's fearful for his job and his livelihood. But check it out. There's some really, really hilarious Garfield drawings that have, in the 3 hours that this has been a Twitter account, has garnered more attention than Tadpog has in 3 years. So it's got to be pretty good.
It's not even close. Dave, do you know the account on Twitter?
I think it's Terrible Fan Art, right? Is that it?
Yes, you can find it at Terrible Fan Art or at Bobcast Picasso.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Either that's what that was.
Bobcat
okay.
Picasso.
Yep.
There will be a link to that in the show notes because we fucked all kinds of things
there
up.
will. Longest show notes ever.
You know what else you can do? If you want to call us, you can call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll get to that eventually. And you can also text that number. And if you do, I promise I'll fuck it up on an upcoming episode. Lastly, we do have a Patreon that we publish bonus episodes exclusively for Patreon donors. And I will say, Tyler, I don't know if you've gotten any feedback on the Everyone is John episode. I have had overwhelmingly positive feedback. I have never received as much positive feedback on an episode than I have for Everyone Loves John.
Master of Coin, Ryan Walter
That was
sent
really
me some
great.
messages.
I mean, he had some really good things to say. People who hadn't talked to me in a while were like, "Hey, that was a really good thing, Dad. You know what, son? You know what's not really nearly as good as Cool Hand Luke or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? That terrible fucking show you do on the internet." However, Everyone is John. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You earn a quarter of a hug.
Shake my hand.
Yeah.
Don't linger.
A firm grasp, 2 pumps, and we're done. Nice bathroom massage. Thanks, Daddy. You can. There's
2 fingers.
Yeah, if you want those bonus episodes, which trust me, you do, you can just chip in $1, and that'll get you access to pretty much everything that you've missed in Tadpog, which are the bonus episodes. They're there. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much to those who do donate. Who donate? That's a little thing I do. A scat. That's a little scat improv I'm working on.
And if you want to send us anything for intros or to have us try, whatever, we love it. It helps us out. Please and thank you. Please send anything to Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Yeah.
And we also have an Instagram at Tadpog_podcast.
Right.
I try to put something different up there every day.
Vagina pics.
Vagina pics, a lot of vagina pics.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we do a set where we just tuck our stuff between our legs and take photos of that?
Yep. Picnic baskets. Yep.
Yeah. Picnic baskets.
Where you tuck it down and then like bend over so you can see it on the other side.
Fruit basket.
Fruit basket. Thank you. Picnic basket is the healing out of an earthbound.
Picnic basket's when you make a fruit basket, but you're wearing a Yogi Bear mask.
The picnic basket. Hey Josh, what's our theme song?
Your theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive.
Where can a link to that track be found?
You can find it in the show notes at tadpog.com.
Nice. Good job. How would you like to close this out?
I think we should do Marston impressions.
Okay.
All right.
Unless you guys have another idea.
Nope.
No, it's perfect.
All right, I've been trying this for like a week. I can't do it. It suck.
So until next time. Tropical Capricorn.
I couldn't remember what he sounded like, so I did Ma Fratelli from the Goonies. Is that okay? Is that acceptable?
I think that's who it was based
Yeah.
on. I'm pretty sure. I read that somewhere.
Perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Granted, this is Ryan's house, so he like gets to be in his underwear, but I've seen Ryan in his underwear more than anybody.
I don't think I could do that. I mean, like I will walk around the house in my underwear, but if anybody comes over, I'll put on clothes. No matter what, I would.
I always wear a shirt, but generally I like pajama pants.
Let's take our shirts off.
We take our shirts off. Yeah, that'll be wonderful.
But I love that. I was thinking about it the other day, and it was like, dude, I have, like, this is no joke. I have seen Ryan in his underwear more than I've seen my dad in his underwear.
Ryan is like Axel Heck from The Middle, where he's just perpetually just in boxers and nothing else around the house.
I love it. I love it. I do.
I mean, I wish I could be that guy, like my
Me
dad.
too.
Like, I just like, fuck it, I don't care. I guess I haven't reached that stage of middle age. I'm sure Ryan hasn't either. He's just, I guess,
He's just not fat.
yeah, he's gonna live into it.
It makes a difference,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah.
He's tall and thin, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no one's like, that's creepy.
He wants to keep walking by mirrors.
What's an acceptable looking person doing with no shirt on?